Welcome. Today I'll be presenting my project on the significance of digital accessibility. This project represents a significant step towards integrating accessibility into game development and aims to raise awareness about the importance of inclusivity in gaming and in daily life. To begin with, the project overview and the goal. This project's primary objective was to develop a prototype 3D exploration game that emphasizes the value of digital accessibility. The game instructs players on the difficulties experienced by people with impairments by immersing the players in settings where accessibility features are either present or absent. The goal of this project is to use gaming as a tool to foster empathy and understanding, not only to make a game. Problems and key challenges. Preparing the game mechanics to effectively communicate the value of accessibility without coming across as forced or didactic was one of the project's major problems. A further difficulty was creating a balance between the game's instructional and entertainment aspects. Furthermore, it was difficult to ensure the game remained engaging to players throughout the process. These difficulties forced me to use my imagination and to iterate continuously, resulting in a project that is now thought-provoking in addition to being instructive. The foundation of this project was laid out in a detailed research paper. The paper contains several key areas, starting with an abstract that outlines the project's significance. The introduction delves into the importance of digital accessibility, and the literature review provides an overview of existing research on accessibility in gaming. The background section covers the inspiration for the game and my motivation. The methodology section discusses the game's design and development process in detail, ensuring every decision was backed by research and best practices, covering game mechanics and the logic behind every choice. Continuing, we also have the future steps and results, discussing the implications of the prototype and potential areas for future research and development. Following the paper, I also made a game design document, or GDD, which served as the blueprint for this project. It describes many things, including the fundamental gameplay principles, decision-making, reality determination, exploration, timer. These features intended to test player skills and provoke thought processes relating to accessibility. To make sure that every element of the game supports its instructional objectives, the GDD also includes information about the game's general aesthetic, the sound, the visual design, as well as its surroundings. It includes the innovative concept and the gameplay mechanics, as mentioned before, the 2D and 3D assets, and the general schedule for this project. This document was essential in maintaining the development process's focus and alignment with the project goals, guaranteeing that each feature served a deliberate and useful purpose. The prototyping process. The process of development was enjoyable and difficult at the same time. The first step was to draft through level layouts, which was essential for organizing the game's surroundings. Subsequently, I determined that the salient characteristics would be to characterize the gameplay encounter, emphasizing the most effective approach to replicate accessibility obstacles in a manner that was both captivating and instructive. Unity was used to create the game's initial draft, which provided a basic structure for further refinement and development. I incorporated a variety of barriers as I refined the design to mimic the actual accessory problems, like dim lighting, challenging navigation, blurry screens, and difficulties interacting with the game world. With constant testing and feedback driving the development process, each iteration moved the game closer to its current form. Speaking of its current form, I'm now going to show a prototype demo video. This video showcases the environments, the gameplay mechanics, and accessibility challenges that players will encounter. As you can see, the game puts the player in a variety of situations where they have to find their way around environments that mimic real-life struggles. So here we enter the first room, and as you can see, the door is closed. So the player gets to look at the room, click the exit button, and they can choose a few options to try and think what is the correct answer for. The question will be something like, what is the accessibility feature that's being mimicked in that room? In that room, it was half movement. And in this room, you will see here, this room mimics titness, with a common sound that people hear when they're losing their hearing or have been exposed to a lot of loud noises. Following the second room, this player will now go down to the third room, down these stairs. Currently, this prototype does not have any other features in the rooms, but it will be added in later iterations. Going to the third room, you see the player has some trouble getting through the door. That's because this room has reversed controls. Forward is backwards, backwards is forwards, right is left, and left is right. So the player has to try and experience how they have to move through this room and face difficulties getting through. This room that we've now entered is the bonus room. In this room, there'll be a lot of cluttered objects, it'll be difficult to move around, and the player will have a smaller range of motion. That will be the bonus room, which will give you an extra few seconds on your timer if you complete it. This room we just walked into and exited was the fourth room, I believe, the blurry vision room, which, as you saw, the entire screen and camera turned blurry. Now the player is going up these spiral stairs and is walking down this hallway to the final end room. And once the player reaches this room and has completed all the other rooms, then the player is able to leave and exit the game. This is just the current prototype. It will be iterated on in the future. The goal is to create an immersive experience that not only entertains, but also educates players about real-world challenges faced by individuals with disabilities. Future direction. Getting IRB approval for official playtesting is one of the project's upcoming milestones. This will give insightful feedback on how successfully players are taught about accessibility in games and identify areas for improvement. To make the experience even more impactful, I intend to improve accessibility features and add more educational content to the game as I polish and iterate in response to your feedback. I'm also looking into wider uses for this prototype, like incorporating it into curricula or providing game designers and developers with training resources. In the end, this project might impact more general conversations about communities surrounding digital accessibility and the gaming business, improving the inclusivity of games for all. This game is currently published on itch.io, but is not accessible to the public quite yet. In future iterations, it will be accessible to the public so anyone can access it. In conclusion, to sum it up, this initiative emphasizes the value of digital accessibility in games. Through placing players in situations where accessibility is both present and absent, I want to encourage a deeper sense of compassion and understanding for people who have disabilities. The ultimate objective is to contribute to a more inclusive digital environment where everyone, regardless of ability, may enjoy and benefit from gaming as I continue to develop this project. Thank you for watching and for your interest in this project. I look forward to any other questions or feedback you may have.